Do you remember the 80s? Even the 90s? The last real generation. GX. The last real generation. The last Mohicans. Because really, if you were born in the 80s, even the 90s, if you were born before the internet, that's really the cross line, is the internet. If you were born before the internet, if you remember the 80s, the 90s, and you think about it, it's really the last generation. The last real generation. The last generation with newspapers. The last generation that went to school walking. The last generation that went to the movie theaters to see a movie. Now you could just stream everything. Things have surely changed. Things have surely changed. I'm going to leave the link below in the description. This is a fire video. It's called America in the 1980s. This will break your heart. It didn't break my heart. I enjoyed it. Fire video. Really good video. He breaks it down like all the little things that were different. Oh boy. GX. The last real niggas. GX is anybody from 1975 to 1985. Even 1986 and 87. We'll throw them in. We'll throw them in there. Really, all the way up to like 1989. Because the cross line was the internet. Anyone who grew up before the internet, not just smartphones, but internet in your house. Because the internet came out around 2002, but people didn't have it in their house until, mainstream, like in every household, until like 2007. And then around 2010, 2007, hold on, the cell phones came out before the internet. Like the flip phones, not the smartphones, but the flip phones. You had the flip phones around 2005, 2006. And then the internet came out in 2002, but it wasn't mainstream in every household until 2007. From 2005 to 2007 is when you got flip phones and internet, and like everybody had it. But it wasn't until like 2011, even 2012, that everybody had a smartphone. Not even everybody didn't even have a smartphone back then, but that's when they started coming out. The iPhone, I think, came out in like 2009, 2008, and then didn't go mainstream till 2012. But there's a whole lot of other things that change besides technology. That's just like the cross line. That's like the most noticeable thing, right? But a lot of other things change. Like you go to a park anywhere nowadays, and there's nobody at the park except old people in the morning walking. You don't see kids at the park. There are no kids at the park. There are no kids walking to school. They all get dropped off. You don't even see kids anywhere, really. And back in the day, in like 1987, 1988, you couldn't even be home. Your parents would kick you out the house. Go out to play. You remember your parents telling you, go out to play. That meant, get out of the house. We don't want you here. Go to school. Go out to play. Go to your friend's house. Go somewhere. And where you went, they didn't even ask you where you were going. They didn't even tell you where to go. They just told you, go out to play. And you went, who knows? around the block or 3 towns over. All they told you was go out to play and come back before it's dark. Everybody born from 1975 to 1987 heard that. Go out to play and come back before it's dark. And if you wanted something from the store, you'd just be like, I'm going to the store, I'll be right back. You didn't even have to ask permission. You just left. And you went to the store or you went down the block and started smoking weed. It was a whole other time. It's the last generation that went to the theaters. Nobody goes to the movies. When was the last time you went to a movie? Most people don't go to the movies anymore. Most of the malls are closing down all over America. The only thing left from like those times is still McDonald's. And McDonald's looks like a gray box now. McDonald's looks like a warehouse now. There's like no colors. There's like no, they got rid of all those characters. Remember all the Hamburglar, Ronald McDonald? It's not better or worse, it's just like, just different. Definitely freedom is completely different. Definitely freedom is completely different. Like I said before, you don't see kids anywhere. Kids are not allowed to go outside anymore. Your parents never tell you, go outside to play anymore. I mean, you know, current parents, you know. They don't tell their kids to go out to play. You never ever see kids riding a bike. You don't even see bikes. You see people on Uber bikes, but you don't see kids riding a bike. I don't even see. No. I don't see. I see bikes once in a while at Walmart, but I don't see anybody buying them. I definitely cannot remember the last time I saw a kid on a bike. I see kids on iPads. I see kids on iPads, but not a bike. I remember I used to be like, I'll be right back. And I will leave, jump on a bus, go 10 miles away, go to the mall, and then come back 6 hours later. And nobody would say anything. They wouldn't even ask me, where were you? They were like, you know, I knew to come home before it was dark. That's why I would get in big trouble. No Nintendo. I didn't want to lose the Nintendo for a week. But I will leave like in the morning, like in the summer. I will leave in the morning, walk all the way to the bus stop, take the bus like 10 miles away to the mall, stay at the mall all day, take the bus back, and be back home before 5 or 6. And just be out all day with my homies. That's like when I was like 10 years old, 12 years old. I would go to the movies by myself or with the homies. We would ride the bikes there. The movies used to be $5. You could buy cigarettes for $3. I never ever got ID'd. I got ID'd when I was already like 30 years old. I never got ID'd as a child. I used to go to the liquor store and buy OE with the homies. We would put like $1 each. We would each put $1, and the old E was like $2.20 or something like that. And you could get cigarettes, Lucy's. You could get Lucy's. You could get Lucy's for like $0.25. And they always sold it to us. There was no ID. There was no IDing you for anything. So that's really the point. Freedom was completely different, son. Freedom was completely different. And how people interacted also. You had to wait for things. You had to, you picked up the phone and you didn't know who it was. Hello. You would just pick up the phone. Now people be like scared. They'd be like looking at the caller ID. They'd be like, delete. People be, I don't know. It's not better or worse. It's not good or bad. You know, of course, things always change, right? You expect it to change. But freedom, especially as a child, you don't see kids anywhere. You don't see kids by themselves. That's really a big difference right there. The fact that like if you were born in the 80s and even the 90s, you had a childhood where you had freedom. Where like you could go out, you went outside, you went to the mall by yourself, you went to the movies by yourself, you went to your homie's house by yourself. Kids don't even go to their homie's house anymore. Kids don't have sleepovers anymore. They don't have bicycles anymore. They have an iPad. All they have is an iPad. These kids. You don't have posters anymore. Remember posters? You used to go get, like the new movie, like the Star Wars poster or something, Lamborghini posters. You don't have tapes. I still have CDs, but people don't have like actual physical music anymore. I think that's coming back though. That should come back. I like having the actual CD. I like the actual physical, looking at the booklet inside, the track list on the back. You know what I mean? I'm gonna start collecting more CDs. I'm gonna get my collection back up. I still have a lot of them. I still have a lot of them from the 90s. But yeah, I'm gonna leave the link below. This video is straight fire. America in the 1980s. This will break your heart. I'm gonna leave the link below. It's a pretty long video. It's about 30 minutes long, but it's a great video. There's a lot of things this guy mentions. The editing is fire. You know what I mean? He talks about video games. That's another thing. Hold on, guys. Another ad. That's another thing. Ads. There's just way more ads. Back in the day, you had to deal with like the commercial break. In between, you're watching your show or your movie or whatever. But that's about it. You didn't have ads everywhere. Now you have ads in your car, ads on your radio, ads. It's just ads. Because they want you to pay them. I'm never paying these people. I don't have any type of. I don't have Netflix. I don't have the Zone. I am never paying these people anything. I am never giving. I don't care if that shit is $2.99. I am not giving these people anything. I don't have Uber Eats. I don't have Uber. I do have Amazon, but I don't use it that often. But yeah. Freedom is completely different. Freedom is completely different. I remember making ramps with wood and flying off of them. This video is real good because this guy talks about a lot of little details that it reminded me of a lot of little things. Movies, the mall. Malls across America are closing down. Most malls are closing down now. You gotta just stay home. That shit boring. You gotta order everything on the internet, on Amazon. It's just whack. I still go to the mall. There's a few malls, but there used to be malls everywhere. Especially like New York, New Jersey. There used to be malls everywhere. You could just pick what mall you wanted to go to. Be like, I already went to this one last month. Now I'm gonna go to the other one. They were all closed. You know what I mean? And they were all like had arcades. That's another thing that the guy talks about in the video. He shows you like footage of like arcades. Yo, arcades were dope. You had like mad video games, mad skeet ball. You had like bowling all in the arcade. You had skating rinks. That's another thing. There's no skating rinks. Kids nowadays, even adults, there are no skating rinks anywhere. There's nowhere that you could go skate. Like with roller skates or ice skates. There's like maybe there used to be like maybe 10 ice skating rinks around here. There's maybe one left. There's definitely no roller skating. And the roller skating rinks used to be like half arcade, half roller skating. The arcades were fire. There used to be arcades everywhere. And you would have to walk to them. It wasn't just the actual place. It's the whole experience of you having to walk there. You go to your homie's house. You meet up at your homie's house. Then from there you walk to the corner store. You get some cigarettes. You get some a 40, or you get you know what I mean, you got a little leftover half a joint or something, or you know, even before that, you know what I mean, even before you started, you know, fucking around, you just walk to your homie's house, and then from there you walk to the arcade, and then you might meet some bitches over there, and you know what I mean, and or you ride your bicycle there. Then you go to the McDonald's or the pizzeria. It was just like a whole experience. You know what I mean? Now it's like you just like stuck home playing. You got all these big ass, you know, the games are mad cool, mad high definition, but you're just like home. It's like nowhere to go. Like it's just whack nowadays. You where do you go? Where do you go out to? You go out to like eat. That's the only place. That's the only place to do. That's the only thing to do is go out to eat. Really, unless you want to go out to like a bar. You know what I mean? Even the bars are whack nowadays. It's just a bunch of like sports nuts and the shit is like I don't know about you know other places, but around here, I stopped going to bars years ago. I stopped going to bars like almost 15 years ago because them shit is mad expensive. Like back in the day, you could go to a bar, hang out at a bar all night, and spend like $20 at the most, and you'd be there for hours. Now, you're not spending no $20 at a bar. That's just like a let's keep it G. You go to a bar nowadays, you're spending $100. Even a not even a great bar, like just a crappy bar. Beers are like $8, $7. Chicken fingers, $15, $18. You can't afford to really do that. And like it's not just that. They're just not fun. They don't have arcades there anymore. You know what I mean? You don't have like the older white bitch with the big titties there anymore. It's like a stupid bitch that don't even speak English anymore. It's just like a it's just it's just not as cool. The 80s, and I hate to sound like a boomer, you know what I mean? Cuz you know, I'm not old, but I'm not young. And I be catching myself sounding like a boomer, you know what I mean? I hate to sound like a grouchy old man, but yeah, I know. If you were born from 1975 to 1987, even up to 1990, you know. If you remember life before the internets, life when you had a bicycle and skateboards, you know. Like if your first big gift was a Nintendo or a Sega Genesis, you know. It was a whole other world. So I'm going to leave the link below. I hope you enjoy the video. The Last Generation GX